Hello students, welcome back. So the previous video we had seen three elements of the function, which were function declaration, function call and function definition. And to understand these three things, we had seen a program to add two numbers using function. In this video, we will see advantages of function, one or two disadvantages of function, and then we will see a program to check if a given number is prime or no using function. So let us look at the advantages of function. The first advantage is modularity, meaning functions it is going to provide modularity. Means what? It is much easier to write a program where a large program can be divided into smaller and simpler tasks. So if you have a big task to be done, you can divide that into functions and write the code for each function. Then the function provides reusability, meaning what? It is going to allow you to call the same code again and again and reuse the existing code. So if you have some set of lines which you think are to be repeating in the program, you can just take out them and make that as a separate function. Third advantage would be, in a large program, debugging and editing task is easy if we have function. So if you have a very big program, and instead of writing one whole program, if you write that function into if you write that program into different functions, then debugging and editing would be easy. Meaning if you want to make some changes, it is easy, you know where what function is, you make the changes there, and if you want to look for errors also, it is easy. Then separate functions, if there is some functionality to be added, you can add as a separate function instead of disturbing your program. So that is the last advantage. Basically, see, say if you have to do a software, if you are writing a software for bank, now instead of writing the entire software as one program, what you can do is you can divide the task into different functionalities. Like there can be one function for keeping track of, say, savings accounts. There can be one different function for loan accounts. There can be one for fixed deposits, and so on. So instead of writing everything in one program, you can divide the task. That is what I mean by modularity. So these were some advantages of function. There should be some disadvantages also. So one disadvantage is the function can return a single value. In C, the functions can return only a single value. So multiple values you cannot return. Say if you want to return two values, you cannot say return b comma c or something. That is not possible. So directly you cannot return. There are indirect ways of returning values, which we will see later. That will be with the use of pointers and all. Then another disadvantage would be execution speed. It is going to decrease. So we know that whenever there is a function call, the control it is going to transfer to that place where the function is there. Then there is some return address, you have to return back to that line, right, from where the call was made. So that return address is to be saved somewhere, so some memory is consumed for it. Then you go to that function, there are some local variables in that function, so you need to create, meaning the compiler creates some memory on the stack, and then once all that is done, the control has to come back. So additional time is consumed here. So I say that execution speed decreases if you have functions. So this was about advantage and disadvantage of functions. Next we will look at a program which is going to check if a given number is prime or no. You have already done this program earlier, but we had not used functions. So here we will try to use functions and carry out the same task of checking if a given number is prime or no. So the first thing which we do in any program is I write the header file, I include the header file. Then what I do is I declare a function. Now I want to write a I want to use a function. So first thing which we do is I declare the function. So this is the declaration part. I declare the function. I tell the compiler that there is a function whose name is going to be prime or not, and it is going to take one parameter and it is going to return one value which is of type integer. Now See here, I have not given the name of the variable here. Here I have not given the name of the variable, so that is fine. In case of declaration, I need not give the variable, but I have to compulsorily give the data type. Then I start with the main program. In the main program, I declare a variable n, which is the value which I'm asking from the user, and I have declared another variable prime, which is a variable which is going to act as a flag or something. It will have a value which is either 1 or 0 based on the number is prime or not prime. Then I ask the user to enter a positive number. I read that into n, so some memory is allocated for n here, right? So there whatever user enters will be saved. Now this line here is what? Right, it is a function call. So and I am passing n over here. So this line, what it is going to take do is it is going to take the control to that place where this function is there. So that function is where it is somewhere here. So control is transferred here. I have told you whenever the control is transferred, at that time the whatever argument is there, that also the value of that also is passed. So n is copied to n1. Now if say this n was 5, so n1 also will be 5. So some memory on the stack is created, and there will be some storage for n1, and then the value is copied. Now next I have a local variable here which is I, which I have initialized to 2. Now this is the code for calculating if a given number is prime or no. The previous program which we had seen for a simple program with main and no function, we had seen prime calculation. There we had used a for loop. So you can use the same code. You can use for loop or while loop. Here I have used while loop. So I just go on dividing the number by 2. Sorry, I just check if my I is, meaning this is the termination condition. I just check if I is less than or equal to half of the original number, because we have already discussed this logic over here to calculate if a given number is prime or no. I go on dividing the number, and then instead of going on till n, I can stop at n by 2 also. So we have already discussed this code in the earlier discussions of prime number. So this is the termination condition, and inside what I do is I go on dividing the number by I am starting from 2, so I first divided by 2 and then by 3 and then so on. I will go on dividing, and if it is divided, meaning this mod operator is here, so it will divide and look for the remainder. So if the remainder is 0, that means the number is divisible, and if it is divisible, I need not further check if it is I did not check further. So if division is possible and the remainder is 0, meaning it is completely divisible, I straightforward return a 0. So 0 means what? It tells that the division was possible and the number is not prime. So I am returning 0 if the number is not prime. Now assume that I have returned 0. So what happens is control will go back. The moment return is encountered, the control goes back. I need not come to the last statement. Okay, the moment return is encountered, the control goes back. So I have come back to that place from where the call was made. So call was made from here. What I have brought back? I have brought back 0. So prime will have a value. Prime is what? It is integer. So it will have a value which is 0 in this case. And I check here, is 0 equal to 1? No, the condition is false. So else part is executed, and else part what it prints is, it prints the number is not prime. So it was divisible, so it is saying it is not prime, and then another return 0 will terminate the program. Now let us continue. Assume that the number is not divisible only, then this condition is going to become false. Once this condition is going to become false, I come outside of this loop, and this return 1 is executed. So when this return 1 will execute, right, when it is not possible for me to divide, in that case this return 1 is executed. For example, okay, for example, if I have some prime number only as the input, so this division is not possible and return 1 is executed. So the control is transferred now from this place to this place. This time what is returned? 1 is returned. So uh, 1 is equal to 1 and this condition is true, this printf is executed. It says the given number is prime number, else part is skipped, return 0 is executed, and program terminated. So this is how functions are executed. So here important thing is not the logic of prime, you need to understand the flow of control from function call to the function and back to the call, and then how things are done. Similarly, students, you can write any other program using function. So you can write any program. We have done factorial, we have done say a program to find various areas, we have done a program to find say simple interest. So any program you can convert using functions. Thank you for watching the video.